Hello, good morning. Welcome to the 6 a.m. Club. I'm so glad you're here, and I want to welcome everyone listening from the Leading Yourself podcast. The 6 a.m. Club is my new project, my new baby from 2022. You know, every morning I start my day with my morning routine, and one of the important pieces of my morning routine is to start my day inspired. And the way I get inspired in the mornings, or one of the ways that I get inspired anyways, is to pick a random quote. I read it and I reflect on what that quote is telling me that day and how can I leverage that quote during the day to, have a better day. So on the 6 a.m. Club, every day, Monday through Friday, I share the quote of the day and I share my little self-reflection on that quote. And I always end with an invitation for a call to action, something that you can do that day inspired by that quote that will help you have a more fulfilling day and, just see some progress, because at the end of the day, progress is what matters. So I want to share with you today's quote. And this one, I don't know whether I believe in coincidences or not, but there's been a lot of coincidence in my life lately. And this quote, I think, is one of them because it comes really on a time where it really speaks to me in a very particular and a special way. And the quote says, "A mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimension." Let me read it one more time. For those on the back that were not paying attention. A mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimension. And my mind has recently been stretched in ways that I didn't thought was possible. It was stretched when I participated on the Unleash the Power Within program a week ago with Tony Robbins. This is a program that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and the opportunity presented itself this year, and I decided to go. Going into the program, I knew that the tagline of the program was, "Life will never be the same again." And I truly didn't believe it. I'm like, how can 4 days do that? And I know in Tony Robbins events, there's a lot of jumping and all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about all of this. And anyways, I did it and I committed to go all in. And I immersed myself on the experience. And if you listen to the podcast episode that I published on Wednesday on my key takeaways from the program, which, by the way, I do a big injustice because words cannot capture the experience that you go through when you attend these types of events. But I now know that life is never going to be the same again. And that is because exactly what this quote says. When your mind is stretched by a new experience, it can never go back to its old dimension. And after this event, and after having stretched my mind in ways that I didn't thought they were possible in such a compressed time frame, right? Because it was only a couple of days. Now I just want to keep stretching my mind. When you have an experience, when you experience this in your life, then you want to keep stretching more and more your mind. And every day I ask myself, how can I stretch my mind today? Sometimes for me is reading a book. Sometimes is listening to a podcast. Sometimes is taking a training. Sometimes is doing something that I'm scared. Sometimes is, talking to someone or getting to a conversation that I've been avoiding for a long time. Sometimes is experiencing something new, like an adventure. Sometimes is, doing something small, but that scares me. And my invitation for you today is for you to ask yourself, how can you stretch your mind today? What can you do today that will stretch your mind? Because once you stretch your mind, it never goes back to its old dimension, which means that you are growing your potential. You have the ability to continue to tap on your full potential. I believe that all human beings have unlimited potential. Our problem is that we don't tap on that potential because we're so distracted on today's world by all the things going around us. And we're so distracted by trying to become someone else according to the standards imposed by society, that we forget who we truly are and we forget to tap in our full potential. So by stretching your mind, you continue to tap in that potential that you have. And then life is never the same again. Your mind never goes back to its original form once you have stretched it. So again, my invitation for you today is to think about, how can you stretch your mind today? And I would love to hear, how are you stretching your mind today? So if you want to send me a message on Instagram, my account is Leading Yourself Podcast, and sharing with me, how did you decide to stretch your mind today? I would love to hear. Okay, everyone, I hope you have an amazing day. I will be back on Monday with a new episode of the Leading Yourself Podcast. Until then, have an amazing weekend.